Are those my angels? Yes, they are. Hi, angels. It's Ariana. So, we need to chat. First off, I wanted to apologize for being gone for so long. Life has been really, really crazy. And yeah, I've been gone from YouTube probably for like, oh God, 6 months. And that's not okay because, you know, a lot has happened, a lot has changed. You know, I want to say that I'm going to be posting regularly, but I'm probably not. So I wanted to come on and film a YouTube video for you guys. So if you want to see how I achieved this makeup look and answer some of y'all's questions, then keep on watching this video. Okay, y'all, so the first thing that I do for my makeup routine is I use primer. So the primer that I originally use is the Kylie Cosmetics primer. It is completely sold out, so I unfortunately don't have primer. The only primer that I do have is from MAC. I don't know what primer it is. Since, you know, we are like dealing with a pandemic and we have to wear masks, I don't really focus on primers anymore because I only do like my makeup from here. So yeah, I just have like this MAC primer. It's a sample. Also, you're gonna notice a lot with this whole entire makeup routine is a lot of these products are Kylie Cosmetics. I mean, homegirl is a billionaire, so I'm not surprised, but also her products work really, really well with me. Also, side note, if you catch me looking over here, it's because I'm doing my makeup in this mirror because you guys are hanging from this mirror. So yeah, so pretty much all I do is smear this like all over my face so that way it can help stop the oils. And I do have oily skin, so a lot of times the primers that I use have to be like mattifying. So that is also that. So yeah, I just spread that, bring it down your neck, because we need to blend it down so that way our whole entire body matches. So the next step that I do in my makeup routine is obviously foundation. So the foundation that I am using, why is it slanted? Okay, we're back. Foundation that I'm using is the Fenty Beauty foundation. I am in the shade 320. Okay, also I forgot to wet my beauty blender, so this video is off to a really great start. So I'm going to go wet my beauty blender and then I will be right back. To put the foundation on my beauty blender. For my full face, I personally do like 3 pumps. We'll start with 3, and if we need more, we'll add more. So 1, 2, 3. And also, while I am doing my foundation, I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me questions. And I wrote them all down since obviously I look crazy. Okay, so the first question is when did you start getting into makeup? So the first time that I have ever worn makeup, I think was back in when I first probably moved to like 2013. No, 2013, yeah, is when I started. No, it might even been 2014. Okay, this thing just keeps falling. Back to what I was saying, and I think I started getting into makeup in 2013, maybe even 14. And yeah, but at that time I wasn't like contouring, I wasn't concealing, I wasn't brightening, I wasn't, you know, putting highlight on. I was mostly just doing primer, foundation, setting powder, yep, and setting spray, and that was literally my whole entire makeup routine. But yeah, but also those times back then were kind of different. Okay, so then the next thing that you're gonna want to do, so I am going to go for like a brightening effect. So what I'm going to do is take my Kylie concealer in the shade Sand, right? Yeah, Sand. And I'm pretty much gonna like highlight my face. So I'm gonna highlight like my under eyes, maybe a little bit like right here in the middle of my forehead, the bridge of my nose, and my chin. So staying on the makeup topic, the next question someone asked me was, how long does it take you to do your makeup? So for this question, I don't know if we're talking like currently because of this whole pandemic, or if we're talking like before the pandemic. But I would say before the pandemic, it takes me like 30 minutes. If I'm doing eyeshadow too, it can take me like 40 minutes. What the f? So you guys were like hanging on my mirror and you guys were tripping. So I decided to move you to like a lower angle. It's very unflattering. I understand that. So when I edit this video, I'm gonna have a great time. My self-confidence is gonna be through the roof. What was the question again? Oh yeah. So I would say before the pandemic, it would take me like 30 minutes to do my makeup. If we're talking like with this whole pandemic thing, honestly, it takes me like 10-15 minutes, because like I said, all I do is like my makeup from like up here since I have to wear a mask. So yeah, it doesn't take me a very long time. So once I highlighted everything that I wanted to highlight, what I'm gonna do next is blend it out. So yeah. And also, speaking of this pandemic, I hope everyone is washing their hands. Wear a mask. It's not that hard. Okay, so now that I blended it out and this is all like highlighted, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to bake. If you guys don't know what that means, look it up. This is in the video for that. Now I'm gonna take my trusty Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. I'm pretty sure everyone has this, and if you don't know what this is, I don't know how, if you know makeup, how you don't know about Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. Okay, so I put it in the cap. So then what I'm gonna do with this is everywhere that I put concealer, I'm gonna bake. So I'm gonna take my beauty blender, dip it in the powder, kind of like brush the excess off, and then I'm gonna put it where I put the concealer. So under my eyes. And what I personally do is I pack it on. So I'm gonna pack it on, then dab it around, then do your forehead, pack it on, then dab your forehead. So then pretty much for like the bridge of my nose, I kind of just like swipe down so it's like a clean line, and I leave the sides alone because that's where I'm going to contour my nose. If you want to do your eyelids, you can. I personally do. My god, I forgot about the questions. So the next question is, how long have you been transitioning? So I think I have been transitioning for either 2.5 years or 3 years, something like that. I know for sure, appearance wise, I've been transitioning for 3 years. I don't know, it's somewhere between 2.5 years, 3 years. The time flew by. I don't really remember, but I know it's between 2.5 years to 3 years. Next thing I'm gonna do to set my whole entire face is I'm gonna take my Kylie Cosmetics setting powder in translucent, and I'm gonna dab it around like the perimeter of my face, anywhere that I didn't bake. And I know some people are probably thinking like, why don't you just use the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder all over my face? The reason why I don't do that is because I feel like the Laura Mercier is very, very, very translucent. And I feel like the Kylie, I don't know, it's just like, it's not as pigmented as the Laura Mercier. So I don't put that all over like my face because I don't want to leave like a white cast if I take pictures. So that's why I just use the Kylie Cosmetics. I have always just used the Laura Mercier for baking, but I've noticed that when I take pictures with the Kylie Cosmetics, it doesn't leave flashback. But I do notice when I bake with the Laura Mercier, like there is a little bit of a flashback. So like obviously like where I highlighted, so that's why I'm like, I don't want to put that all over my face because I just don't want to look like a ghost, because I am pretty tan. So I want to enhance my Latina-ness. So yeah. So what made you want to start transitioning? So this question kind of like is funny in a way, because it's just like, oh, like what made you want to transition? It's not what made me want to transition. It's kind of just like I've always have felt like I was in the wrong body. And I am going to film a video kind of like going in more detail on how I knew. So pretty much to answer this question like really quickly, it's I didn't choose to transition. I just knew that I was like in the wrong body, and I just was very, very, very unhappy. And if I'm being honest, I hated myself. I was just miserable, and yeah, transitioning definitely changed my life for the better. Okay, so the next question that I got was, how did you start getting into modeling? I started getting into modeling because I used to work for Abercrombie and Hollister back when, like, you know, they had like the only popular kids can wear our clothes, and like you had to be attractive. And I back then didn't think I was very attractive. I just feel like I had like people skills. So I just went to go interview, and they hired me on the spot. And, you know, I was just like, okay, like they see something in me, whether they think I'm attractive, whether they don't think I'm attractive, maybe it's my personality. But yeah, so at that time when you got hired, you were considered a model. And they would always pick like the hottest person. It was a guy and a girl. They always picked the hottest person. I never got chosen. So the next thing that I do is I bronze my face. So I am using the Kylie Cosmetics bronzer, and I am in the shade Almond. For bronzer, what I do is, somebody taught me this trick on YouTube, and instead of like blending your bronzer, you kind of like staple it in. I'm pretty sure it's stipple it in. You stipple it in to where you want to contour. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, when you got hired on as a model, and if you worked in the back, you were a stock associate. And like the stock associate people were just like kind of like the people that, I'm not gonna say were ugly. Either they chose to be back there because they didn't want to deal with people, or the company or the manager maybe liked them, but just like they didn't have like the best appearance, so they were in the back, which is awful. Because everyone's beautiful like in their own way. So yeah, they were just in the back. So I got hired on as a model. So that was kind of like the start where, like, where I was introduced to it, because I would go on photo shoots like with my friends who were like the model for like our store location. So I would kind of just like tag along. So that's kind of like how I got into like the modeling scene. But honestly, I never really thought I could be a model until I started working at, you know, this job. And one of my colleagues came up to me and was just like, oh my God, like, you know, my customer can't stop looking at you, and she thinks that you're a model. and she used to be a model scout back in the day, and she wanted me to ask you if you model. So I told him, like, no, I don't model. And then one day I opened, and the lady came in. I kind of knew her, but I wasn't sure if it was her. So she asked me to help her with these shoes, and so I helped her with the shoes, and she pretty much told me, like, obviously she was like, oh my god, like, you're so pretty, have you ever thought about modeling? So I pretty much told her about, like, the Abercrombie Hollister situation, about, like, how, you know, like, back then, like, they hired pretty people, and, like, you got hired on as a model. So she gave me, like, all her info, and she told me that I should, like, apply, and, like, she could help me get into modeling. Now, growing up, I've always kind of wanted to be a model, but I never felt like I was pretty enough, but also, like, I was kind of dealing with, like, not being in the right body, and, like, this whole, like, ordeal. So I never really went far with it, because I was just like, well, if I can't be in the body that I want, then I don't want to model, because I want to wear bikinis, I want to wear dresses, I want to wear heels, and, you know, feel more like myself, because I didn't feel like myself before. So I met with her in her office, and she pretty much got me a meeting with Ford Model Management, and I went in, I walked for them, they asked me a couple of questions, they took my measurements, and I pretty much got home, took off, like, the light makeup that I did have, and they signed me. And, you know, it's crazy, like, looking back on my life before and being like, damn, like, I've always wanted to model, because, like, Victoria's Secret was, like, a really, 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 really big thing for me. And I got signed to Ford, and, you know, it was just awesome to get signed. It is definitely a lot tougher than I thought, but it's one of the best things. And, like, you know, I definitely love it. And yeah, also, I don't know the name of these brushes, because the gold ones that I'm using, they don't have names, but this black one is the Morphe E17 brush. But the other brushes, I kind of bought them all together, like, in a set, so they don't have names. It's just like they're rose gold. So I'm gonna dip into my bronzer, and I'm going to contour my nose with the setting powder, or the translucent setting powder still there. I'm gonna take it along my nose and kind of go up to my brow like that. So I also learned this thing on TikTok where to make your nose like a little button, what you do is you take your bronzer and you kind of like swipe across, and you like outline your nose, and it gives you like this little button effect. So that way later when you go in with highlight, it makes your nose look like a cute little button. So then you're just gonna blend it out like that. So you have like a cute little like button nose. What I'm gonna do for my eyes is I'm going to take my bronzer and put it on my eyelids. So that way I have like some color on my eyelids, and it's not just like completely white from the Laura Mercier. So yeah, we're gonna do that. You can honestly be as messy as you want, just like don't go crazy where it's like interfering with like your nose contour. Okay, so while I'm doing this, another question that I got was, what advice can you give someone starting HRT? And honestly, the only advice that I can give you is get ready to have a tougher skin, because, you know, I feel like society nowadays is very judgmental, especially when it comes to like the transgender community. Be safe, try your best to use your best character of judgment, and, you know, get ready to finally be happy. And, you know, it is a journey. Take it day by day, because when I first started my journey, you know, I was constantly comparing myself to like other, you know, YouTube girls and like, you know, their journey, but they've also been doing it for like 8, 9, 12 years, or since they were like 12 years old. So yeah, I would just say, you know, don't compare yourself to other trans girls. Just do you and live for you, and you know, you'll get there eventually. Okay, so the next question that I got, what are some common misconceptions about T girls? So I feel like a lot would have to do with downstairs. And I know a lot of people think that, you know, because you're trans, like, you know, you don't get it removed. And by it, I mean, you know, your eggplant. But that's not the case. Every T girl is different. Some girls are okay with it. Some girls aren't. But yeah, we don't all like keep it. Some of us do get it removed. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. Also, people think that if you are trans, and especially like talking to like a lot of new people in my life, they think that, oh, you're trans, so you get both done. And I know some T girls that haven't had any surgery done, and you know, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do with your body, you can. You don't need surgery to be trans. Like, that's not what it is. Like, you know, some people are just really, really comfortable with their body, and you know, they can do what they want, but you don't have to have surgery to be valid or to be trans. And you know, I feel like another one is that all like T girls are straight, which isn't the case. Because you could be trans and be bisexual, you could be trans and be a lesbian, you could be trans and be gay. But also another thing too is, I feel like people keep forgetting that there are trans men that exist. And you know, I feel like when people think of trans people, they just think, oh, male to female, but no, it's not the case, because you can go female to male too. And you know, they're out there, but I feel like a lot of people focus on trans females more for some reason. Like, I never really hear like in the news or like even like on YouTube or just social media in general about trans guys. I mostly hear about like trans females. But yeah, I just feel like that's another thing too, is like female, you can go female to male too. But yeah, not every single T person, whether it's a T guy or a T girl, you don't have to be straight. Like, being trans isn't your like what you're attracted to. It's more of like your identity. Okay, great. It's more of like your identity and who, you know, you feel like you are, like on the inside. And yeah, like, it's not your sexual preference, it's your gender identity. Oh, also, I am using the Hiiii Cosmetics brow pencil, and I am using the shade Ebony. So yeah, I keep forgetting because I'm like focusing on like making my makeup look perfect, but also answering these questions and filming this YouTube video. So there's just a lot going on. Okay, so the next question is, what are the biggest changes that you have noticed while being on HRT? Honestly, I would say a lot. I would say the first thing that I've noticed personally was my breast. Honestly, I would say between month 4 to 6, it was really, really hard to take a shower and like wash my chest, because it hurt, because you get like a knot like in your nipple. And yeah, showering wasn't fun, especially when it came to like that area. Another thing I noticed is that I get really, really hungry. What the I get hungry 24/7. But obviously that's my body like changing, because it needs to put all of that fat where, you know, a cisgender woman would carry her, you know, fat distribution. Yeah, I swear English is my first language. So yeah, I get major cravings. The biggest thing that I've noticed, probably during COVID, I've noticed it more, is my face has definitely changed a lot. Like, I feel like before my face was really, really, really masculine and prominent. Like, I definitely had like a chiseled jaw, and I feel like now my face looks more softer and more rounder, more feminine, definitely. My skin has always been soft, but I've noticed that like my skin is softer. So yeah, that's another thing that I've noticed. My hair has grown a lot faster. That's another thing. My hips kind of have like rounded out more. My butt has gotten fatter and bigger and juicier. Definitely, I feel like I lost like muscle mass, because I feel like I used to be not the strongest person in the world, but I definitely could carry like heavier things and lose muscle mass. What else? I feel like that's like the major things that I've noticed, like appearance wise. And yeah. Oh, actually the biggest freaking thing is I cry, oh my god, over the littlest freaking things. Like, I can get a compliment from someone and they can like tell me like it from the heart, and I will just start crying. I could see like a sad movie and start crying. Like, I was emotional before even being on HRT, but like HRT has definitely enhanced it. So yeah, I definitely get a lot more emotional. And yeah, and I've heard some T girls get really moody. I don't really get moody. I just notice that I cry over like the littlest things now. And also randomly I start crying too. So that's another thing. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Kylie Cosmetics brow gel to put my brows into place. And I'm just going to run that over my brows. So the next question that I got is, when did you know that you were trans? And honestly, it's funny, like looking back on everything, I feel like I knew from a very, very young age. But I didn't know that you can take HRT. I didn't know you could alter your body and like, you know, switch to the other gender. Because honestly, I only found out about being trans like probably 3 years ago, which is when I started. And I didn't know that you could do all of like this stuff. And, you know, I thought I was going to be stuck in that body forever and like not have the body that I've always wanted. So yeah, I feel like I personally knew at a very young age. I just didn't know that you could do that. So I feel like I knew probably like, oh god, junior high. Like, I would always wear like my mom's shoes. I would always wear like her dresses, and I was always playing with Barbie dolls. My favorite color is pink. Avi. My voice has always been like really like soft and like feminine. My body, even before transitioning, was always like petite and like little and like not like big and muscular. And yeah, like my face has always been like really feminine too. So yeah, I feel like I knew at a very young age, but I just didn't know I could change my body. Okay, so once like my face is done, now what we're gonna do is you're gonna take your setting spray. The setting spray that I'm gonna be using, surprise, surprise, is the Kylie Cosmetics setting spray. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna just like set your face so that way it stays on longer, it doesn't transfer, because you know you don't want to be hanging out with a boy and he wears a white t-shirt and you know your contour and your face are on him, because you don't want your makeup on him, you want to be on him. So then you're just gonna dry your face off. And honestly, I get really paranoid too, because I feel like sometimes I can miss spots that I like set. So like I'll go back and like feel like drier spots and I'll like set that. Okay, so the next question that I got was, what is one thing that you learned about yourself during quarantine? And honestly, I would say like the biggest thing that I learned personally during quarantine was to just not care what guys think. Because at the end of the day, like if you don't like me or you're not attracted to me, or if you find out T when I tell you, or if you can tell T like from the jump, like you don't change my life. I am changing my life, but also I love myself. My friends love me. But most importantly, like, you're not going to take this away from me, and I don't need you to make me happy. So the next question that I got was, where do you get your wigs from? So I get all of my wigs from, when I used to wear synthetic wigs, I would get them from, Amazon for like 45 bucks. But I get my human hair wigs from, AliExpress, because I feel like other wig places and wig stores are just stupid overpriced. So yeah, I get all of my wigs from AliExpress. And yeah, also y'all, the mascara that I'm using is the Better Than Sex mascara. Okay, so I just finished my mascara off camera. So the next thing that I'm going to be doing is my favorite part of my whole entire makeup routine, and that is lashes. And I'm going to be using the lashes from Morphe. And they are called Chummy. And these lashes, y'all, listen. I was so heartbroken when I found out that they got discontinued. And did I cry because of the estrogen? No. Did I cry because I love them? Yes. I am so upset that these lashes are discontinued, because now I have to find a different set of lashes, and I don't want to. So you better believe when I found out that they were getting discontinued, I took my ass to Morphe on my lunch break, and I bought 10 pairs of these lashes, because I take very good care of my lashes and they last me like 6 months. So I bought 10 pairs of them because I don't want to use any other lashes except for this style. And yeah, like honestly, I think they were like $12 a piece, and then I used like the promo codes. So yeah, it wasn't even that bad. I think my total was like 30 something dollars, 40 something dollars, but they might have been actually, I think because they were getting discontinued, they were actually cheaper. I think they were like $5 a piece. I don't remember, but yeah, they were like cheaper. I remember that because I think originally they were like $12.50 for like a set of lashes, and so they were getting discontinued. Also, Morphe, if you're watching this, give your girl a promo code, because I need to keep my lights on. So yeah, Morphe, if you want to hit me up and give me a promo code, that would be greatly appreciated. What I also do too is I let the lash glue like sit there for like 30 seconds to a minute just to like get tacky, and then I just put those puppies on. Okay, so then after 30 seconds, what I do is I like to like blow on it, just like get it like, make sure it's like getting tacky. And then I learned this trick from one of my friends. So Erin, if you're watching this video, shout out to you, girl, because this trick helps. So she told me to put the middle down, then you work your way to the inner corner and then the outer corner. Because I would start from like the inner corner to the middle to the outer. And she was like, nope, just put it on. Then you take each side, put it down, and you just like hold like your tweezers, you know, what is this called? Your eyelash applicator, and you just like hold it there so that way like for sure like gets stuck. So kind of like that. But also, y'all, I just feel like lashes, like, they be changing the game. Because I feel like this is very just like, oh my god, like I have to go to the grocery store and pick up like, you know, Danimals yogurt for my kids. But then this is just like, I need to pick up plan B because homeboy doesn't know how to aim. Okay, so now that both lashes are on, like, y'all, you can't tell me nothing. Like, you can't tell me nothing. Like, lashes just make you feel like you're that bitch. Okay, so the next question that I got was, what kind of men are you attracted to? Honestly, my whole entire life, I have been attracted to like athletes. So I want a man who's like athletic. I usually go for like muscular guys. Because I like to go to the gym, like I like to work out, I like to stay in shape. So yeah, muscular guys. I mean, honestly, like I don't care if you're like shorter than me, but just don't be like crazy shorter. Like I'm 5'9", like with heels, I'm like, you know, 5'11". So I'm like, you know, if I'm not wearing heels around you, like at least be like 5'9", 5'8" is like, you know, ooh. Oh, also, the highlight that I'm using is the Kylie Cosmetics highlighter, actually, I should say, and it's in the shade Dreaming of Diamonds. Yeah, I feel like a guy that's like 5'8", 5'9" is okay. Athletic. I don't know, like motivated, obviously. Has his own money, has his like life together. And you know, is like honestly just like, you know, only for like me. He's not for the streets. He's not like fucking around with like other girls. And you know, like, and also like, you know, he's not ashamed of like my past. And you know, he's not embarrassed to go out in public with me, or like I have to be like a little secret. You know, like he wants to like show me off like any other normal girl he would. And yeah, so just like be athletic, be muscular, have nice teeth, smell good. But honestly, you get brownie points if you have nice style and if you're funny, because I am always like cracking jokes. I'm very sarcastic. I'm very funny. And yeah, so if he's funny, let's just say we're gonna find the nearest bed, because yeah, sense of humor is super sexy. And yeah, I don't care about the race. I find though that I do talk to like a lot of white guys, so I mean, again, I don't care about the race. Like if you're just like all of those things and you're perfect, you know, hit me up in the DMs and let's see if we're compatible. Okay, so then the last and final thing that I do for my whole entire makeup routine is I like to put a lip on. So I'm going to be using none other than the Kylie Cosmetics Lip Duo. Also, Kylie, I know you're watching this. Put me on your PR list because I'm trying to get free palettes and, you know, your collections. So my favorite lip kits that I have from Kylie are Candy K and Kylie. I think for today I'm probably gonna use Kylie because I think Candy K is my favorite and I'm running low. So yeah, we're gonna use some Kylie, you know. Stormy. That was such a bad impression. Kylie, honey, I'm sorry that you're watching this, because I'm sorry to disrespect you like that. Okay, so I naturally have like full lips, but I still overline, and you're not going to be able to tell very well how I overline them, but I kind of just like follow like my natural shape. So I just go like this, go across, and then come down. So I don't like the Cupid's bow, like that little like kind of like heart shaped and it goes to like the corner of your mouth. I just like cut across because I like that, like that pouty look. So yeah, I just cut across like that. Then I underline the bottom of my lip. like that. So then once I do all of that, the next thing I do is I fill it in with the same lip pencil. I fill that all in. And also make sure that you get like in the inside, because a lot of y'all keep missing the inner part of it and it ain't cute. So after the lip liner is on, you obviously applied the liquid lip. So another question that I got was, how are you such a bad bitch? Honestly, I was born with it. If I'm being serious, y'all, it's a very, very tough. Because, you know, sometimes people judge me for being a bad bitch. And, you know, and how you can become one, it's like, you can't. Like, sorry. All honesty, to be a bad bitch, to me, that just pretty much means, like, you're confident, you know, like, you're a good person. You know, you just, like, I don't know, it's just like hard to describe. Like, you know, like when you walk in a room, like you don't care like what people think about you, what people say about you. You know, you could be like 800 pounds, but if you own a room, like you're a bad bitch. And, you know, if you have pimples and you feel attractive, you're a bad bitch. Like, it doesn't, there's no like really characteristic of being a bad bitch. It's just, you know, like, you know, like you're that girl, and, you know, you're just, I don't know, like you're confident in yourself, and, you know, you don't care what other people say, because at the end of the day, like, their opinions don't matter. And yeah, you just care about yourself, and you care about how you think and how you feel, and that's it. So if you think you're a bad bitch, you probably are a bad bitch. And, you know, not everyone has that trait, but I feel like everyone needs that trait. And, you know, I feel like if you are a bad bitch, bring someone up and make them feel like a bad bitch, because that can make their whole day. And that's what being a bad bitch is. Like, just be a good person. But also know that you are that bitch in that room, and nobody can compete with you. So now that the makeup is all complete, I'm gonna go do my hair off camera, and then I will be back shortly to close this video out. So thank you guys so much for asking me questions on Instagram. And if you aren't following me on Instagram, and if you aren't following me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me down below. I have all my social medias listed. And if you enjoy this video at any time, please make sure you're giving this video a really big thumbs up for me. So if you are completely brand new to my channel, you better be clicking that subscribe button, so that way you can see the next time I post my next video. So go ahead and leave me a comment down below on any other video ideas you have, or any questions you may have, because you might be in the next Q&A. And with all of that being said, fly high, my angels.